Tonight on Joy News Prime, 9 Nigerians arrested for illegally entering Ghana could be among some 1,800 jailbreakers wanted by the Nigerian government. Tonight we ask what the implications could be if indeed they are confirmed to be among the Nigerian fugitives.
Following the tip-off, police moved in swiftly and arrested them at Adarfo Clinic Junction Lorry Station Sunday evening.
The National Road Safety Authority is asking the police MTTD to investigate the driver of a vehicle who took to the opposite lane on a major highway in an incident captured on video. Motorists who endured a massive traffic hold-up at KWABENA Monday morning have been told they will have to bear with the situation for a few more weeks due to the construction of a footbridge.
We usually experience traffic during the peak hours. That is from 6:30 all the way to 8:30. That is a peak period.
In business, government finally set to commence national daily minimum wage negotiations as it invites partners to a meeting this Thursday. My name is Jola, and Joy News Prime is coming to you live from our studios at Kokomlemle here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV, because we're free to air, and also on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. This is a home of independent, fearless, credible, and impactful journalism. Do stay tuned in. 9 Nigerians suspected to be part of over 1,800 fugitives who broke jail in Nigeria have been arrested by police in Adam. The suspected jailbreakers were arrested following a tip-off. The 9 were said to be making their way into Accra after successfully going through an approved route into Adarfo by their accomplices. They have since been handed over to immigration officials in Tema for further investigations.
The Ada police tells Joy News the suspects were traveling on a Sprinter bus with registration number ER 165714. Following the tip-off, police moved in swiftly and arrested them at Adarfo Clinic Junction Lorry Station Sunday evening. The suspects are Emmanuel Obina Chidozi, 27, Steve Eyenuku, 33, Enabeli Lucky, 29, Yomi Osma, 29, Kelly Ekureni, 33, Freedom Yusuf, 25, Obi Onwora, 38, Patrick Chana, 47, and Bless Eyenuku, 25. Items found on them include unspecified amount of Naira and Ghana cedis, personal belongings, passports, and ID cards. The suspects are currently assisting with investigations.
Right, so information from the police on exactly the identities of these persons and whether they indeed linked to the jailbreak in Nigeria has not been so forthcoming, but we're still working our sources. But joining us now is security analyst Adams BONAA to assess the implications of this particular incident or discovery, should it indeed be confirmed that these persons are linked to the jailbreak in Nigeria. Thank you very much for making time to speak with us, Mr. BONAA.
Thank you very much, Israel.
All right, so we don't have any confirmation yet, but it appears these persons may as well be linked to the jailbreak in Nigeria. Now, we had actually put out word to try and ensure that these persons don't make it into the country, or if they make it into the country, they are arrested. If it turns out that indeed these are linked, what are the implications?
Well, Israel, we all know the implications of having fugitives escaping from their country into our country. Already we are grappling with increasing crime rates. Already, murders have gone up, heinous crimes have gone up, crimes, that are committed, and you can see the signature of other, nationalities involved everywhere. And so as far as I'm concerned, Israel, if this comes out if it comes out that it's legit, that these guys are the fugitives as part of the 1,800 jailbreakers who, broke jail in Nigeria, these guys are part of them. then Israel, you know, we should be in for trouble. But the truth is that it might take a while to get this information. These names your colleague read out might not be the names. Even in this country, you know, our data, you know, in terms of data collection when it comes to prisoners hasn't been very good. So one can commit a crime here and end up committing another crime in let's say, in Avrongo, and sometimes it is difficult. It takes time for them to know that it's the same person who is using different names. And so I think that if I believe the Nigerian authorities might have collected the fingerprints of these persons, and so they would have to fly into the country or come into the country to dab their fingers, take it back and see whether it matches the convict. But the truth is that, you see, the porous nature of our borders and the fact that the information the Immigration Service itself put out was not to ask the citizens, but the information was to, what do you call it, their colleagues in the security agencies. And once you do that, you fail to educate the people. But you know, this arrest was done because citizens, probably those who have some information, gave a tip-off to the police. And from all indications, they didn't come by road. They came by the sea. If they came by the sea, then it becomes even more difficult. How many are already in this country? If we don't work on apprehending them and knowing all of these guys, how many of them have entered? Chances are that give it plus, minus, by when we expect crime rates to be dropping, we are likely to see crime rates going up, because then some of these fugitives who come are going to go back to their old ways of, you know, committing crime.
All right, Mr. Bonaa, I'd like you to hold on, stay on the line for us. We're connecting with Ayitope Kutei. He is a journalist, our partner station, Channels Television in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Kutei. Now, you tell us, is there any word as to regards the arrest of these persons in Ghana and whether it is linked, the arrest in Ghana are linked with the jailbreak in Nigeria? Hello, Kutei, you'd have to unmute for us.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening. Oh, okay, basically, just few moments ago, I spoke to authorities of the Nigeria Correctional Service here in Owerri, the Imo State capital, Southeast Nigeria. And what they told me about what you just said was that they heard the same story the way I heard it, but there is no official statement to that effect yet to the arrest made in your country. So that once they get any official statement or any official message to that effect, then they will always alert the media and the public about that.
Now, what kind of criminals are we dealing with here? If you can tell us, are these hardened criminals or are these persons who are in for petty crimes or misdemeanors?
Okay, first, let me tell you, any group or any person who might have attacked a national security facility armed is no more a petty person, is no more a petty criminal. Because from what we saw on ground during the attack, there were explosives, you know, and freeing about 1,844 inmates. This definitely is no joke. This definitely is not petty, you know. But like we've been arguing here, you know, in some quarters say those people are members of the indigenous people of Biafra, the Eastern Security Network, while some are also saying they are not. There are some politicians trying to distract the government of the day in the process of governance. So I can tell you categorically, up till now, no group has accepted responsibility to what happened in Imo State about on Easter Monday, and this thing still lies with the security operatives to tell us basically who these people are. And like the media has always reported, they call them unknown gunmen.
All right. Now, how successful have the Nigerian authorities been in trying to rearrest these fugitives?
Okay, like I said, as at this evening, the Nigeria Correctional Service here in Imo State says about 130 inmates are in their custody right now. As of this evening, they are still expecting more. And out of these 130, we have some that were rearrested by the police, by the Air Force, while some came back willingly on their own. But they were not able to give me the accurate figure of the ones that were rearrested and the ones that came back willingly. And like the authorities say, that they are still optimistic that by tomorrow and the day after, people will still come back, because some of them are still scared about when they come back, what would happen to them, if they will be treated as escapee, or they will be granted amnesty. Well, you can remember that just a few weeks ago, so immediately after the attack, the federal government says some who will come back willingly will be granted amnesty. You know, they will not be charged again. They will not be charged again. So they said the authorities say they are still their media campaigns and sensitizations, telling them to come back, because they said some of them left under duress due to the situation at that time when the attackers came and told everybody in the correctional center to flee for their lives. So some they agreed that some left under duress, and they are calling them back, and when they come back, they will be granted amnesty.
All right, thank you very much. Ayutop Kuteyi is with our partner station, Channels Television in Nigeria. And I still have Adam BONAA on the line with me. Hello, Mr. BONAA. Now, you've heard we're dealing with quite some dangerous people. What should we be doing, or how easy will it be to try to get these people if they have integrated into society already?
Well, Israel is going to be very difficult to, especially the hardened criminals have committed, the first degree offenders. I mean, murder, robbery with, the use of firearms and terror. Such has been granted willingly return. And so it's going to be very difficult, even in our own backyard. In our own backyard, Israel, we have unresolved murders. We have, the police are still dealing with some escapees in their custody. They've recaptured some, and some of them are still on the loose. And so having these guys escaping from Nigeria, chances are that you are going to have 50% of them or more, or a quarter of them, of the number, coming into this country. So it's going to be really very difficult to apprehend these people. What we need to be doing as a nation, which I think the national security, the immigration and the police should be doing, is to have a coordinated way of alerting the citizens. But as we speak, until today, when this issue of arrests, came out, I mean, I heard it early, but before it hit the media, we really hadn't seen the various PROs or a national security task force put together, just like the way we fought COVID. If we begin to treat this issue as if it's a no issue, chances are that we are going to be overwhelmed, because crime trends are changing. And those who are coming will come with their own way of robbery, their own, what took them to prison. They are likely to come in here and perpetuate that. Already we have Kaswa. We are finding it difficult. If you go there, we have some people from some of these places who are hiding in there. And you see, let's be also very circumspect here. I would use your medium to say that every Nigerian, every Ghanaian who is watching, if you know of any suspected, fugitive who is come in, report the person. But I would have wished that the security agencies would come out with a fiat, asking every Nigerian who, entered Ghana after the jailbreak should report himself to the nearest police station for his own good. If you don't do that and you are arrested by the immigration or arrested by the police, you'll be sent back, because that will be the only way we would know the good ones and the bad ones, or else we are going to risk having very good, hardworking Nigerians who people begin to see them and think this guy could be one of the fugitives. So let's have a way of, coordinated communication strategy that would help those who are here doing legitimate work to go out there and do their work, report themselves and say, I came in, but I'm a businessman. This is who I am. Or else we are going to begin to see, if you are not careful, issues or probably attacks here and there if the state does not deal with this issue the way it should deal with it, Israel.
All right, thank you very much, Adam BONAA. Adam BONAA is a security analyst. And staying on the Nigerian community, well, those in the Ashanti region, they're saying that some of their members are reeling under economic hardship following the closure of shops. This comes after a task force formed by the government closed about 92 shops in Swami magazine owned by foreigners for violating the Ghana Investment Promotion Council laws on retail. Chief Nkem Tony Onyegolu explains their members are incurring huge losses because the goods remain locked. Nana Yachima has more in the following report.
For 7 months, shops owned by foreigners, mostly Nigerians, have been locked for non-compliance to retail regulations. According to the government, ample time was given for regularization of their businesses. Nana KWABENA led the team.
It's a GIPC Act 128. It's first out that if you are a foreigner and you want to do retail trading, all what you have to do is that you have to raise an amount of $1 million or in goods also 1 million. Then you employ 20 people. Then you apply a certificate from GIPC. Then on that certificate, they will give you a location where you can apply your trading.
Affected persons for the period stayed on, hoping for an early reversal, but they say efforts to get the shops reopened have proven futile. Chief Nkem Tony Onyegolu explains members are going through financial difficulty.
They promise us that we will hear from them very soon. But as you can see, things are getting worse. We, the communities here, especially we in Ashanti, our people are dying because of that shop they closed. Some people life service is in that shop. Some people even travel document is there. Their goods, whatever people do, take.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the community wants authorities to consider meeting affected persons for finality. Chief Onyegolu again.
We will be glad to have a meeting with them, conclude on one thing, and that thing will be okay for us, and they will be happy too. I believe we are not here to subdue or to kill or to take over the business from our host country. No, we are here to learn from them, and they too will learn from us. And that's what we have been doing. We have a Nigerian Traders Association. Also, there's a GUTA, and government official will be also involved in the meeting. So that we will say, because they can't say Nigerians will not do business here. It's no matter anything.
From Kumasi for Joy News, Nana Yachima reporting.
The National Road Safety Authority has asked the police to investigate a traffic violation involving a Toyota Land Cruiser which took to the opposite lane of a highway in an incident captured on video. The video posted on the Joy FM Facebook page shows the vehicle driving against traffic on the Gifford Road. Though quite typical of many Land Cruisers on the country's roads, it comes at a time the National Road Safety Authority is stepping up efforts to end the carnage on the country's roads following the death of nearly 800 people in road crashes in just the first 3 months of the year. The letter addressed to the Police Motor Traffic and Transport Department says initial investigations indicate the vehicle is owned by Ghana Cocoa Board. Joining us now is a Public Relations Manager of Ghana Cocoa Board, Fifi Boafo. Thank you very much, Mr. Boafo. Can you confirm that indeed this vehicle belongs to Ghana Cocoa Board?
Thanks for the opportunity, Israel. The vehicle is registered in the name of Ghana Cocoa Board. However, the vehicle is in use by one of the agencies under the Ministry of Roads and Highways. The explanation is simple. Under the Cocoa Roads project, vehicles were procured, and those vehicles were meant for supervision by the road agencies. So because the contract is actually between Cocoa Board and the contractor who procured the vehicle as part of the road construction. However, the driver driving the vehicle and the occupants of those vehicles, the driver driving the vehicle and the occupants of those vehicles are not employees or assigns of Ghana Cocoa Board.
All right, so what is Ghana Cocoa Board doing as far as this incident is concerned now that your name has been mentioned or Ghana Cocoa Board has been mentioned?
Well, I got information this evening, so quickly I contacted our transport department, and that's where I got information that the vehicle, even yes, is registered in the name of Ghana Cocoa Board, but then we are not using that vehicle, and the drivers are not staff of Ghana Cocoa Board. So tomorrow, first thing in the morning, we'll contact the ministry, and then we'll be able to get some answers as to who is using the vehicle and why that happened, and then the appropriate thing will be done.
All right, thank you very much, Fifi Boafo. He's the public relations manager of Ghana Cocoa Board, and we're still following this story to get to the bottom of it. The National Road Safety Authority has written to the Ghana Police Service, and let's share the content of this letter that they have sent to the police. So it says, petition to investigate conduct of driver of vehicle registered GM 215216. The management of the authority sends its best wishes. The authority takes notice of a publication on the Facebook page of Joy FM on the conduct of a driver of a Toyota cross-country vehicle that appears inconsiderate to other road users on the Gifford Road in Accra. The incident reportedly occurred on Thursday, the 15th of April, at about 8 a.m. Our preliminary inquiry suggests that the vehicle is owned by the Ghana Cocoa Board. The authority considers the conduct of the driver as a threat to public safety and respectfully requests an investigation and further action. And it attaches the link to the video on the Joy FM Facebook page, and it's signed by KWABENA Kodia-Etiahini, who's the head regulations, inspection and compliance at the National Road Safety Authority. So it is good that the National Road Safety Authority has taken note of this particular incident because the video was posted on the Joy FM Facebook page. If you see any such incidents, please film them, share the videos with us, Joy News, Joy FM, and we're going to reach out to the National Road Safety Authority, all in a bid to ensure that there's discipline on our roads and we all arrive alive. Nearly 800 people have died in just the first 3 months of the year. That's more than COVID has killed in the more than over a year that COVID landed on the shores of Ghana. In other news, motorists who use the KUMASI stretch of the Accra-KUMASI highway will have to endure some traffic disruptions for the next 4 weeks. This according to contractors in charge of the KUMASI interchanges to allow for the completion of a footbridge on the stretch. The ongoing works caused massive disruption to traffic flow Monday morning at KUMASI Junction and left motorists on the Accra-bound lane stuck for several hours for a journey that would usually take minutes. Safety manager in charge of the project, Frederick Note, explains there are plans to mitigate the impact of the construction on traffic flow. Manuel Cranting spent the day on the stretch, and our reports.
We're told that the traffic started building up around 4:30 a.m. with motorists who are Accra bound, some from Insaom, and this is of course the Accra-KUMASI highway. The problem, we are told, is that due to ongoing construction on the KUMASI interchange, there's been a diversion to allow for further works. And that has, and of course, because of the rains last night, a lot of the chippings that were filled have been washed away. And this became a real problem for the motorists who have been plying this particular route. On the other side of the road, which is KUMASI bound, we see a free flow of vehicles and so on. I'm just seeing a gentleman who is telling me that he's gotten down from a vehicle to be able to take his journey on foot. Now, who feel about?
Me feel adesso. And I'm very cockot.
Or cockot.
Very cockot.
Now tonight come away.
6 o'clock. What adesso. My bedu sapema enye na me sia mere nante wa KUMASI.
Nti sapema no wanante afia ba.
Ma me catch me no kware trodo sapema. Ne wo de mo komo ni mo behu.
Na we normal problem every day bia e wo ha na.
Ensi da minim ni enti a na nse die abeye tawi sei. Okay. Minim ni enti anansen dia be tawe sei. E dia na de ne do dia mon komo ni mu be.
Enti na we si anante no.
Si anante. I make say metima me nsisa na me ko achimota.
We'll try and speak to a few of the people, and these are goods-only, heavy-duty trucks which have been traveling for so long. My boss, if you have a call,
I don't know.
Now, Okano, how many hours now? Drive you are?
My dimbe 2 hours.
What dimbe 2 hours? Who feel never?
Every Kumasi.
Who feel Kumasi? Where feel traffic? Where feel?
Every way, media side never.
It's media side all the way up to this place. Traffic 2 hours.
2 hours.
Now media up to this place no. Over how many minutes and how do you?
By 25 minutes. Now maybe.
Now go with what park? And I say 2 hours. 2 hours. It's how?
Can't no crash.
Can't no crash on.
Because I can't see form.
Because I can't see form.
Namazabefu.
I see. But that's any movie and so that's a picture here. For some of them, they've been in the traffic. This gentleman is just telling me that he's been in the traffic for 2 hours. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How is the journey so far?
No be easy, boss.
No be easy.
No be easy.
Where they come from?
They come from Ajekotoku.
Ajekotoku. But that one's every day, you know.
Yeah.
How many hours you chop?
Oh, I chop 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yes.
Why? Normally be 2 hours in the chop.
No, because of the change of this thing, the interchange, you know.
Okay, so I mean, as they start to do the interchange or this problem day.
No.
So today we make really serious.
Let's say this week the problem come.
Maybe me lodu efi kwasman. Na me kwa ma saman. Na se na traffic no aye no anu odi ntimi me samechi ko fa ma yira old road na mo ye no so. Okay. I also stole traffic and I'm a farmer and you are say. And I'm at TSU.
This is how I see uncle for Nanka or
Oh, Nipa Guho. But now, because I'm a far one, maybe like my quantum. The major moon now at all.
But this particular point, the intersection where folks from this side of the road join the main Accra-Kumasi highway, that has been the problem. That has been the source of the traffic that we've seen for the past 4 hours on this particular stretch. So we can currently see that the vehicular traffic is moving smoothly. This was after an intervention from the contractors on site who filled that hole with some silt and so on. And now we are able to see the vehicles moving. But let me just try and speak to the safety manager at the project site to get some explanation on what exactly was the cause of the gridlock in the morning. Mr. Frederick Norte is the safety manager.
A rainfall a night before, and that was the cause of the traffic. We've done a little ramp just within the diversion, which we use the quarry dust. So it gets soaked by the rain, and there were some depressions, which caused the little delay in traffic.
Well, Engineer KWABENA BEMPONG is a resident engineer at the project, and he joins us with more on this. Thank you very much. Now, you're saying that it's going to take 4 more weeks of possible traffic congestion, but we indicate we're seeing that some work has been done to ease the situation. Will this really work for those motorists who will be plying the route tomorrow morning?
First and foremost, I would like to apologize to all motorists and those who use the Accra-Kumasi road. We've had challenges before, and we have gone through them. And presently, what we are experiencing is only temporary. What we did was, as Engineer Norte explained, was to provide a detour around the Pokwasi footbridge, which is currently under construction. Unfortunately, the ramp that we did, which connects the paved area, which is the Accra-Kumasi asphaltic surface, to the diversion, seemed to have failed as a result of the rainfall last night. Now, coming to what we have done, I instructed the contractor very early in the morning when I got wind of this situation and asked that we get a more permanent solution. And the solution that they have presently undertaken, I'm still not satisfied because we have used what we call cement stabilized sub-base, which means we've added cement to the earth just to ensure that it becomes more stable when it rains, so it does not give way as the quarry dust have done. Because we have used the quarry dust over time, and we've not had challenges. But then the more permanent solution will be to put some asphaltic, asphalt, let me put it that way, or we call it asphaltic concrete on that surface, on the ramp. Because the whole of the ramp, the whole of the diversion has been asphalted, and I believe your reporter would have seen that. It is only the ramp connecting that diversion to the completed asphaltic road that is what gave way. And I can say on authority that we have done that work. We are hoping that we can, when we do our next asphalt surfacing on other roads, we will try and patch up that area so that we don't have that challenge anymore.
I'm sure for most motorists who will be using the route tomorrow morning, they're concerned. Are they going to get into that gridlock again?
Okay. Yes. There were multiple factors. It was not just because that area wasn't good, because there were other alternative routes. But then, because there was general rain, we had unusual traffic, onto that particular junction. Because where the beach capital is, there's a route that comes from Awoshi. Everybody was coming there, so there was a lot of traffic congestion there. And it was quite early in the morning, so the police had not yet, come in. So when you have such congestion and interaction between traffic, posing streams, then you have challenges. We are hopeful that with what we have done, we should not experience that level of traffic that we had today. And hopefully, when the other routes have probably dried up, all the vehicles which were coming through to that junction will probably use other routes, so that we don't have this unusual traffic that we experienced at Pokwase. And you see, another thing is that there was a vehicle that had broken down just at that place, and that also contributed because it narrowed the passageway for other vehicles. At least at the time I went there, that was what I saw.
All right.
This also caused, some level of traffic. And we must also know that beyond our project, you see, a lot of the time we attribute all traffic to the Pokwase project. Well, unfortunately, sometimes it is beyond us. It is beyond the Pokwase interchange proper. Getting to Ofankor, we have such a challenge. In the same vein, going to Amasaman, you have these challenges with the pavement surface. So please, it's not everything that is about Pokwase interchange. There are situations where we are only more like a scapegoat. But where it is our fault, we are always ready to come in and correct them.
All right. Thank you very much, KWABENA BEMPONG. He's a resident engineer at the Pokwase Interchange project sites. You're watching Journey's Prime. We're taking a break, but still ahead in the bulletin. In business, government finally set to commence national daily minimum wage negotiations as it invites partners to a meeting this Thursday. Stay tuned in. We'll be back in a bit.
A good evening to you. It's time for business. Now, government is now set to finally commence negotiations with its partners on the new national daily minimum wage this Thursday. A letter from the Employment and Labour Relations Ministry to members of the National Tripartite Committee gave this indication. And here exactly is what it says, that the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations presents its compliments to you and has the pleasure to respectfully invite you to a meeting of the National Tripartite Committee. The purpose of the meeting is to commence negotiations on the determination of the national daily minimum wage, and as usual, the count on the corporation was signed by the Sector Minister for Employment in this particular nature. We shall be following this closely because the national daily minimum wage currently stands at 11 cedis 82 pesos after it was increased by 11% last year. Now, the new wage for 2021 may also act as a benchmark for salary reviews and negotiations in the private sector as well. So this is big. We shall be following closely to give you updates as and when they come. But away from that, energy expert says the lack of planning and the delays have caused Ghana continuous power fluctuations over the years. According to Ben Boachi, projections in 2008 shows that Ghana is to be consuming between 5,000 to 6,000 megawatts of electricity by now, but we are currently consuming about 4,000 megawatts. He maintains that if Ghana were to plan a growth pattern, we would not be suppressing demand and businesses will not have to suffer.
I always see some plans, from the Energy Commission, GridCo, ECG. I mean, they do put out some documents. You can question the robustness of those plans, but there are some plans that we actually fail to implement over time. And that is why we are here. In fact, if you look at the trend and projections from way back around 2007, 2008, we should be consuming around 5,000 to 6,000 megawatts of power today. If we have planned to provide power to grow industry and to follow a certain growth pattern of about 10% per annum, Ghana should be consuming more electricity today than we are doing. But because of lack of planning and action in the plans, we are suppressing demand. We are not encouraging businesses to roll onto the grid, and that is why today we are doing about half of what we should actually be doing, around 3,000 megawatts today. So lack of plan and action in those plans really affects the growth of the economy in a significant way, because power is a very important driver of growth.
Now, the announcement by global giant Twitter to use Ghana as its African headquarters is an exciting one which translates into a vote of confidence in Ghana's business environment. Now, this is according to the Minister for Communications, Owusu Ekufo, and she says, and of course, Twitter announced its intention to enter the African market through Ghana last week. According to the Minister, the move will open up investment opportunities for the country. Here's more.
The announcement by Twitter to establish its Africa headquarters in Ghana has been received with excitement from the government and business community in the country. This is due to the influence of the social media giant on the global economy. Twitter chose Ghana over other countries due to its democracy and friendly business environment. Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Owusu Ekufo, described the move as a vote of confidence in Ghana's digital investment over the years. According to her, the move will open up investment opportunities for the country.
We can put a price tag to that and make some money out of our interest. And so we're very, very excited about Twitter coming here. We believe that it will open a lot of opportunities for our young people. It will provide, we say Ghana is the gateway to Africa. This is the gateway in real sense, for we are hosting the Continental Free Trade Area as well. So they can work here and export their products to the rest of the continent using the infrastructure that we put in place. And so it is good news for all of us. It is as a vote of confidence in the hard work that we have done digitally transforming our country.
The minister also called on job seekers with IT skills to explore job avenues advertised by the company in Ghana.
It has the potential of driving other businesses to locate in our country. It's incumbent on all of us to take advantage of the opportunities that will be created. So for our young people to go to the Twitter website, look at the job section, look at the qualifications that you have, apply. They want the raw skill set. They will train you and bring you up to their level so that you can work in comparable establishments around the world. Now with online skills acquisition, you can sit in Ghana and work for a company located in Silicon Valley if you have the right skills. And that's what excites us.
Government will therefore leverage on the opportunity to improve the digital skills of the youth.
And of course, that'll be it for business for this segment. We're back after 8.
Thank you for staying with us on Joy News Prime. I'm Gary Al Smith with the sport. And throughout the day, the big trending topic has been the Super League, the creation of 12 breakaway clubs in Europe who believe that it's time to move on. In reaction, the Premier League's furious 14 outcasts will hold emergency talks on Tuesday to discuss their next move following the announcement of the plans to launch the league. The controversial move puts the future of the Premier League and other leagues into match doubt. There are said to be varying degrees of anger among those left in the lurch, and there's more in this report.
Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham have all given notice of their intention to be founding members of the controversial new league, effectively leaving the future of the Premier League under huge uncertainty. According to media reports, the remaining clubs are due to hold crisis talks on Tuesday to formulate a plan of action. The meeting will provide all clubs with an opportunity to have their say on the news that has rocked English football to its core over the past 24 hours. There are said to be varying degrees of anger amongst the 14 clubs who have been left in the lurch by the Big Six. Those towards the upper reaches of the league, the likes of Everton and Aston Villa, are said to be fuming at the developments. Both clubs have the budget and aspirations to break into European football, but there are now concerns about their appetite to fulfill those ambitions if UEFA competitions are devalued. The news will have less impact on those towards the lower reaches of the Premier League, whose sole aim is to stay in top flight every season. However, there's a huge fear among all 14 clubs that the level of broadcasting cash that is pumped into the game from networks such as Sky and BT Sports will plummet if the breakaway league comes to fruition. Broadcasting rights deals are worth millions of pounds to clubs, but there's a huge concern that TV companies will not be prepared to pay the level of money they are paying at the moment if the current format is changed. 12 of Europe's leading football clubs have today come together to announce they have agreed to establish a new midweek competition, the Super League, governed by its founding members. The formation of the Super League comes at a time when the global pandemic has accelerated the instability in the existing European football economic model.
So, to do more analysis on this and get some perspective, I have Adriano Del Monte. He's a European football journalist and he's joining us from Milan. Thank you very much for your time, Adriano.
Thank you for having me.
You've been busy today on Twitter following every bit of discussion, but I have one question for you. Cricket, rugby, and other sports, baseball, have super leagues, and it's working for them because it's bringing a lot of money and fans are happy. Why is football pushing back so strongly?
It's a great question and a very complex one in that. Look, the European Super League that has been unveiled is nothing new. There has been speculation about this breakaway competition for many, many years now. And I guess it's the sudden urgency with how quickly this has happened that has taken many by surprise. But you are right in highlighting it has been successfully implemented to some degree across those other sports as well. I guess the main difference with football is its global reach. Football, a sport that is played and consumed by every country, everywhere, right around the world. And the systems that are in place at this point in time that, well, as consumers, we feel have been so successful for so long. It's just such a great shame that it has been challenged and overthrown without any form of discussion. Again, it's the fact that this has happened so quickly that it has caught everyone off guard and now leaves us in this very uncertain position going forward where, well, what's next? What does happen to these big clubs that we saw in the package there who have invested a lot of money into the growth of their respective clubs at any level? So these uncertain times have certainly caught people off guard, and it is scary, the future of football as we know it today.
Yeah. The fans are probably the most important stakeholders, even though the fans right now feel like the least important stakeholders. Where you are in Milan right now, what's the reaction like among people who feel like fans have become the last thing when the business people are talking?
It's a great feeling of sadness here, I can tell you. Italy, obviously, very, very passionate when it comes to football. And, well, the three teams who are a part of the 12 breakaway are Juventus, Milan and Inter, both teams from this city, of course. And, look, obviously they are the big three clubs in Italy. Combined, they've won almost 70 Italian championships. So a lot of dominance with those clubs. Obviously, a lot of the television money that does come into this country is thanks to them. But again, well, a great level of sadness because, well, these clubs are only as good as what's around them. And they've been able to, over the years, bring in excellent players from some of the lower clubs in Italy.
Yeah.
They've been able to create historic moments alongside these wonderful clubs. And it's not only clubs in the top flights, in the Premier League, in the Serie A, in La Liga, but also when you go down the food chain into the second, third and fourth divisions of these competitions, they all rely on this structure in order to believe, to dream, to strive for something. And the moment you take Juventus, Milan and Inter out of Italy's Serie A, it devalues that competition, which in a very difficult time with the COVID pandemic makes it all the more tough for how these clubs are supposed to survive.
Nice one. So finally, we just have about a minute to wrap up. What does your gut feeling tell you? You've covered UEFA and whatever range of competitions. Do you have the feeling that this time they are going to do it? They're going to break away?
All I'll say is this: the difference with this time, in the past there have been empty threats. The difference with this time is that the leaders at these respective clubs, Agnelli at Juventus, the owners of the English clubs, Perez at Real Madrid, they've broken away from UEFA. They've quit their positions at the European Club Association. And that for me means this is only heading in one direction, unfortunately, which is not the way that any of us want to see.
Anyway, I'm not sure about everybody watching, but definitely it had some fans. Thank you very much, Adriano. It's always a pleasure to have you. So that's the lowdown on the Super League. Hans Mensah Ando will have more at 10:30. And this conversation is by no means done. It's only beginning. I'm Gary Al Smith, and that is the sport for now.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're bringing you the headlines on MyJoy Online right now. So on the website, we have some key stories you'll be interested in. Travelers complain of rampant robbery at Bunsu Junction of Accra Kumasi Highway. That's the leading story on the page. And then we have NDC must focus on healing the house, not selecting a rider. That's former Defense Minister Kumbo. Then 7 times Ghana is beating Nigeria to the prize. That's an interesting article you may want to read. And fire raises over 30 shops at Kumasi Central Market. And fire engulfs BEMPONG College of Education Administration block. We have those 2 stories coming your way later on the bulletin. That'll be all for those of you who are watching on Joy Prime, but there's more news on the Joy News channel. Do stay tuned in. All right, time for showbiz. And Noella Carringale is here. Hello, Noella.
Hi, Israel. It's been a minute. Yeah, you're looking dapper and smart.
Thank you.
Ooh, are we twinning? Watch. Stop. Okay, right. So let's do something on Ikea-Pimpolo. Okay. She's still trending. Earlier in the morning, my colleague Daniel Datsi spoke with her lawyer about her well-being, you know, on the Prime Morning Show on the Joy Prime channel. And also mentioned how she wasn't even allowed to see her son before she was, you know, incarcerated, basically. Okay. But that's not the focus. The focus is that Ghanaians are signing a petition to, you know, plead with the president to exercise his presidential power, or executive power, I should say, to pardon the actress. And that's the petition, if I could quickly read it. So it says, over the last, okay, so we'll come back again. Basically, in the morning, it had about over 29,000 people signing it, but as it is now, it has over 32,000 people, you know, who have signed the petition. So the goal is to sign, have 35,000 people sign it, and they're almost there, basically. So let's read the content of the petition, because it looks like a lot of people have a problem with it. So it says, over the last week, images of the artist Rosamund Brown, popularly known as Ikea-Pimpolo, and her 6-year-old son resurfaced. The image is one of creative license and is not a criminal matter. We, the creative industry of Ghana, are appalled at the judicial system's decision to jail Ms. Rosamund Brown. We are calling on the President of the Fourth Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to pardon the young single mother who can be blamed for perhaps poor judgment, but in no shape or form deserves incarceration. And the problem people are having with the content of this petition is that how are you asking the President to pardon you, pleading with him actually to pardon Rosamond Brown, yet you are challenging the judgment of the trial.
Saying that she did nothing wrong.
Exactly. So that's where people have a problem with the contents of the petition, but I guess we'll have to see what happens in the coming days. But away from that, let's talk about KWAMI EUGENE and KIDI.
All right.
So, Israel, for some time now, both of them have been subtly, jabbing each other in their interviews.
Really?
So it started with KIDI. Doreen, have you had an interview with KIDI some time ago? And I posed the question to him that a lot of people seem to think that KWAMI EUGENE doesn't know how to talk. What do you think of it? Listen to what he had to say.
That one there is a fact. Even me, he speaks to me in the house sometimes. But of course, it's my brother. When you're in the house, your brother, we take it as brotherly jokes. So. But generally, I've heard that a lot of people say, oh, Kwame, you need to say this, like this. But there's also something I like about him. He doesn't sugarcoat. He says things as it is. And sometimes human dear, if you are there, when the thing is A, is A. If it's B, is B. But of course, sometimes you need to know who you're speaking to and all that. But yeah, if there was anything I could change about Kwame, I wouldn't even say I want to change it because I feel like I like that about him.
You like that? His honesty.
If I like to change it to be that.
But I mean... So that was what KIDI had to say when Doreen, asked him about Kwame some time ago. So recently, in fact, I think yesterday over the weekend, Doreen, caught up with KWAMI EUGENE for his reaction. And just listen.
He's a brother. And he actually understands me more than the people out there because he's quite close to me. And so he has every right to, whatever we keep in our basket or in our cupboard, he come to say it in the public like this, what Kwame does. And KIDI actually tends to come out and make people think like he's the good one, he's the one that is always doing the good thing, and he's the one that is not chasing the girls, he's the one who's not getting people pregnant, he's the one that, and it's always Kwame, and Kwame doesn't talk well, Kwame. By the end of the day, we're still here. He's a big brother, I admire him so much. I like the fact that he shared his opinion about me. But he's the good one. He should keep being the good one. And I'll focus on the good work. Yeah.
But I hope it doesn't bring any rift between the two of you, because many think that once he says something, you reply, you say something, he replies, it can turn into something more serious.
Oh, no, nothing's going to happen. I love KIDI so much. I love KIDI so much because I love the fact that KIDI and Miss V, accept another inmate when I came from Fanama fresh. They were able to support and accept the fact that this guy is new, he's from nowhere, but at the end of the day, as Richie signed him there, it's just quite fortunate that I'm doing good as them right now. And small, I believe, the more he talks, the more we all vibe, the more we get to understand each other more. So he has every right to express himself.
Okay.
So apparently, KIDI has been going around impregnating people, according to KWAMI EUGENE.
Oh.
But there's another bombshell. I'm sure I'll bring that to you in the coming days. But basically, that'd be all for sure.
Okay, so you're saying that if we hear that, that's what's going to make this beef.
Oh, well, back way. Well, back way.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For bringing us showbiz. There's more news on the Your News channel. Do stay tuned in. Now, the amount of wares destroyed in the KUMASI Central Market fire Sunday night is estimated to be worth thousands of Ghana cedis. The fire swept through more than 30 shops at the leather and footwear section of the market. The fire started Sunday evening from one of the shops and spread to other structures due to the combustible nature of the items in the shops. There's more in this report.
This section of the market is noted for trading leather and the manufacture of local bags, shoes, slippers, sandals and other footwears. Last night's fire destroyed more than 30 shops that traded in these items. Affected traders have, however, started counting their losses. One can see traders trying to salvage some of their properties when the news team visited the fire scene.
my sister and bottle my son boss sales. I'm maybe as a store there near my woman because I am ma leather store. Being I'm a pin, no, me do an January dear. Fire service for one, so now you need access be a bit to me, and be in money be a film.
Saturday, men go follow this, be go on baby, who seem to go for them and boom. And 10 men will fear me, will fear the son of material friend say. A hand more shit. Listen, me buy, listen, me hand the Johnny the White, no money in shit, many bakukura and free hand. Almost bear 30,000.
It's come, dear, you may be 6,000 dear. Ninashi. Physical money, I'm there, you may go miss and the door. To follow to your mind, the Ninash, we now crest come to Crasino. And Lucy Ghana, adding.
Firefighters say they had a hard time dousing the fire because they struggled to get access through the congested markets. ACFO Henry Jua is the Deputy Ashanti Fire Officer.
Accessibility is always a problem in Central Market. Even as you can see, we are having a whole lot of challenge. So as for that one, it's a big problem. And the interference from the traders and all those things is not good at all. As for the cost, we are started investigating, so I can't tell you for now. But for now, approximately about 30 shops have been involved.
Now, the National Disaster and Management Organization, NADMO, visited the affected areas this morning to ascertain the extent of damage and offer support for the traders. Abdul Basit Garba is in charge of the Subin Sub-Metro.
There are over 40 shops that have been affected, and these people are integral part of the revenue source of the government, and no government will want anyone to be idle without doing anything. So if they are going to be relocated, we will consider it. If not, if they could manage doing something here before the second phase will reach here, we will consider that one too.
Meanwhile, city authorities say the affected areas are not part of the phase 2 of the KIDI-KUAMI redevelopment project.
In another development, fire has destroyed 10 offices in the administration block of the MONTE College of Education in the Shanti region Monday morning. The MONTE fire station had to call for reinforcement from the Jura fire station to douse the flame. School authorities say the situation would affect the administration of the training institution. Prince Apia has more in this report.
The fire, according to eyewitnesses, started between 7 and 8 a.m. on Monday. Some say the absence of a fire hydrant compounded the fire to bring the fire under control.
The market register around 8 o'clock. The forecast at the market register. And I say, we see a free administration block.
I was marking my register around 8 a.m. when I realized there was smoke coming out of the administration block. I quickly called my colleagues. It started around 7:45, 8 a.m. If we had gotten here early, we could have stopped the fire from spreading. The fire service had to call for reinforcement because the tank was empty. A committee should be set up to investigate what led to the fire.
The Ejra fire station came in with another fire tender to support the MONTE team before the fire was successfully doused. Suleimanu Ayi is Divisional Officer Grade 3 and the second in command at the MONTE fire station.
When we came, the fire was on the first floor, on the right hand side. So we were able to survey the whole place. So for now, it's only 10 offices that got burnt. But the ground floor, we were able to salvage it, so nothing happened there. So for now, everything's under control. For now, we are still with the investigation. We are on investigation. So at appropriate time, we'll come out with our findings.
Meanwhile, school authorities say they have lost school documents to the fire. Dean of Students Douglas Cranton says the situation will affect the day-to-day running of the school.
I was teaching when I received a call that the administration block is on fire. I quickly called the fire service. The cause of the fire is currently not known. All our documents have been completely burnt. This will affect teaching.
Prince Apia reporting.
A violent confrontation between security operatives of Asanko gold mines and some members of communities within the mine's catchment area has forced the company to halt its operations for several days. The mining company alleges the community members are stealing gold ore from its dump site and mining illegally on its concession. EUGENE has more.
The community guys were actually picking the material from the marginal section, and then there was a little confrontation between.
A video in circulation shows remnants of the last confrontation between some members of the community and security operatives stationed at the mine. Some individuals from both sides were injured. Mining equipment owned by Rockshaw, a contractor to Asanko Mines, were also vandalized. The mining company has video footage of community members allegedly trooping to the site to steal gold ore.
It's happening live.
Illegal mining is rife within the 113-kilometer Asanko mine concession. This Galamsey site is a few meters away from the senior staff camp of the mine. These illegal miners have assembled gold washing points powered by Shamfar machines. The emboldened miners ceased work temporarily to observe the arrival of the police military escort to the area. Vice President for Asanko Mines, Charles Amwa, explains environmental destruction is hampering Asanko's sustainable mining drive.
Just digging anywhere which is affecting our environmental bond that we have with the EPA.
In the production side?
On the production side, you can see that they are mining ahead of us and they're taking all the ounces which we have projected to mine, thereby shortening the life of mine that we have.
The situation at Esuade is worse compared to the previous site. As far as the eye can see, the illegal miners are spotted all over the area, busily searching for gold. They are not bothered by the presence of the team. Some of them claim the area has been declared a community mining site, which the Regional Security Council refutes. Some Chinese and local miners with heavy equipment are digging other parts of the mine concession.
You can see the Galamseyers competing with our heavy-duty equipment like the dozers, the excavators, the dump trucks on the ROM stockpile, which is the run-of-mine stockpile, competing to collect, or let me say, to steal gold. And also areas that we are operating, they also come there and they pose a safety risk to our company.
The Ashanti Regional Security Council is intervening to protect the mine's future. Head of the council, Simon Osei-Mensah, spoke to Love News after observing the level of destruction.
The level of encroachment is very, very serious. You all realize that when we went there and they saw us, they didn't even run away. They were just looking at us. Some of them still carrying out their duties as if the place is theirs. I think this thing must end. If people within communities are interested in engaging in mining activities, either they go for legal small-scale mining license and operate within the conditions and terms of the license, or they approach their district chief executive, who will work in collaboration with the member of parliament and the regional coordinating council to ensure that maybe they are enrolled in the community mining project.
We're taking a break here on Joy News Prime, but we have business, more business coming up. Stay tuned.
And in business, the Institute of Chartered Accountants says it will not relent in the quest to rid the accounting profession of unethical practices. To this end, the Institute says it will continue to name and shame as well as withdraw the certificates of members found culpable. The president of the Institute, Professor Williams Atulik, made this known at the first 2021 graduation and admission ceremony of the Institute Ghana, and with 36th being the 36th since its inception, held at the University of Professional Studies in Accra. There is more in this report.
The ceremony formalized the admission of new members into the fold of the Institute's existing membership and provided a platform to award certificates to those who have qualified after successfully passing all 3 levels of the Chartered Accountants Professional Examinations, whilst others have met the requirements via an assessment of training they had received at equivalent professional accountancy bodies. In an interview with Joy Business, President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, Professor Williams Atwelik, says his outfit will continue to apply severe sanctions against members engaged in unprofessional accounting practices.
What we haven't done in the past is to issue out public statements about people we have sanctioned. We've withdrawn certificates, we have suspended people, and particularly those who practice. We've issued all kinds of fines and penalties, so we've been doing that.
So how many cases are we talking about?
Quite a number. Over the years, we've done quite a number, so it's not just one. We have had to withdraw certificates of quite a number of our members.
And of course, we leave you with some international business news. And that'll be it for business. I'm Charles Aite.
All right, thank you very much, Charles Aite with the business news. And that'll be it for the bulletin. I'm Israel Lai. Thank you very much for watching. You have a good night.